Okay, I'm on a 2-week hunt. 1 week with a friend of mine in Wisconsin, Joe Lash, and next week I go to Illinois and hunt with some FDNY guys. And I'm really excited about this. This is my chance to try and get a trophy whitetail if I'm lucky. I'm in a tree stand here. I flew into St. Louis, drove up to Black River Falls, Wisconsin, and made it in time for the afternoon hunt. So let me show you what it looks like from my tree stand. There's a heavy trail that it's a vehicle trail, but does have been using it. Not too many bucks, he said. But I got some bucks coming in from this side on a game camera. So this is my view. Absolutely beautiful. It's starting to get cold. There wasn't too much activity, they said, but we had a cold snap that came in last night, and I'm hoping that shakes them up. So let's see what happens at the beginning of my first Wisconsin hunt. I still have about another hour of shooting light, but it's too windy. I don't think anything's going to happen tonight, so maybe we'll get lucky. The forecast was for a lot of wind tonight, but it's supposed to quiet down by tomorrow and stay cold. So I'm hopeful, but I think I'm more optimistic about tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Okay, this is my second morning here, and I had a 4-point come in right underneath my stand. A 4-pointer came in this morning about 10 to 7. It was only 10 minutes after shooting light, and it came from that direction there, and then it came underneath me, went behind my tree stand, and up a path over that way and over that ridge. So it got cold last night, dropped into the high teens, low 20s this morning when I got here in the stand. I try and get in at least a half hour before shooting light, but it was still pretty dark. I mean, when that buck came in, I couldn't even count the points. I couldn't see if he was a shooter or not. I had to stare at him for a long time and make my decision when he got up underneath the tree. I couldn't prepare, for the shot ahead of time because I couldn't tell if he was a decent enough buck. So that's how dark it was. But hopefully this cold snap will get them moving again, and we'll see what happens. Before I leave the tree stand this morning, I don't want to make too much noise. I want to show you a little safety tip with your harness. Whenever I get off the ground, I wear a harness, a safety harness. I won't go up in a tree stand in any situation without having a harness on. I was told that most hunters, severe injuries and deaths have to do with falls from tree stands, not shooting accidents or gun accidents. That has to do with falling out of trees. It causes most death and serious injuries for hunters. So when you buy a harness, the brand I use is called Seat of the Pants. I like it, but there's plenty out there on the market. Don't matter which one you get. They come with a rope like this. See, I'm wearing a harness. It's like a Class A harness. It's underneath my coat, but around the back, and it's underneath, like I said, it's underneath my coat, but this is my connection point, this carabiner. So they give you this rope, and you put this around the tree, and then it's got a Prusik line on it. So this is what the rope looks like. And then you have to climb up the tree, and then while you're hanging there without a harness on, you have to wrap this around. So you're losing contact with the tree. And then you slip this over it, choke the tree, and then this Prusik slides up and down. And that's how you adjust it to where you want to be. And then your carabiner from your harness goes into the Prusik, and that's your safety line. Well, I don't like it. I don't care for that system, because as you're climbing up and down the ladder, and while you're wrapping your arms around the tree, you don't have any safety harness that's connected to the tree. So what my friend Joe did here, what I do on my property upstate, is I run a line all the way up the tree. When, you know, you put the ladder stand up, the rope is all the way to the top, and then I run a prusik down here. So then I just come, hook my harness onto it, and as I'm climbing with one hand, I just keep slipping it up and locking it, slipping it up and locking it. And by tying, of course, tying the rope down to the end, I can just keep pulling the prusik up as I go, and then pull it back down. So that's your little hunting tip for today. And when we run those firefighter hunts, you have to bring a harness, or I'll have a couple of cheap harnesses around, but I won't let anybody off the ground unless they're wearing a safety harness. All right. That's the way it always is. I pick a stand and they're on the opposite end of the field. What can you do? So I'm heading out now. This is my last night here at my friend Joe's house. And next week I go over and hunt with some guys from FDNY Rescue 3 that I know I used to work with in Illinois, Pike County, Illinois. But right now, one last night in Wisconsin. This is my friend Joe's property. Isn't that nice? He has 130 acres here. He's got some great habitat. He lets some farmers grow corn and soybeans on his property. And then he has woods around the edges for hunting for his tree stands. And so far, nothing. I couldn't film it because it was too late at night. But 2 nights ago, I had 2 small bucks. I couldn't tell if they were 4 or 6 point. Sparring, but not heavily, just kind of tickling their antlers with each other. And then a bunch of does. And I saw 1 small buck in the morning, another night. I'm sorry, another stand. I saw 1 small buck in the morning. And that's it, a little frustrated, but having a great time. Joe's a great guy, great host. And that's it. Rain this morning, got wet this morning. And rain stopped, temperature dropped again. I'm about 42 degrees right now and still dropping for the afternoon hunt. Cold front coming in. Oh, we'll see if that stirs them up a bit. That's the second buck to come by. I shot the first one, but I can't look for it yet. That wasn't as good a shot as I would like. I'm a little bit far back, but I'm going to wait. It's been over 10 minutes. I'm going to give it till dark, and then my hunting partner Joe will bring his dog out. But it's a good stand. I got a lot of bucks around me.
Well, we're headed out to track Kevin's big buck that he shot on the last night of the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to use Arlo and see if he can lead us right to him.
What kind of dog is Arlo?
Boykin Spaniel. Huh. And they're not necessarily a blood-trailing dog. That's not what they're mostly known for, but just about any dog can be trained for blood trailing. Mm-hmm. Since I like to deer hunt and bow hunt more than anything else, Arlo gets the blood trail rather than turkeys or doves or some of those kind of animals.
Nice.
So we'll see what he can do. He's been on a couple before, but this might be his biggest challenge.
Come on, Arlo. Don't let me down, buddy. Thanks, Joe. Let's go out and give it a try.